Conversations with my sister. Conversations with my sister, a live talk experience with delegates, queens, and allies of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant about the world of pageantry and various daily topics. I am Director Lorene Comer Ross, a woman full of ambition, passion, and a love for my fellow sister. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's a day to be thankful. I know you're like, okay, Miss Ross is up here on a holiday Thanksgiving day, because I was sitting back and thinking about some things and thought, I am very thankful for the word sisterhood and what it means to me. So I thought, what better day to talk about sisterhood and being thankful for it ins, outs, surrounds, ups and downs, and roller coaster rides than Thanksgiving Day. And a great morning has started. Today a lot of the sisters are coming together to make Thanksgiving dinner with their moms, cousins, aunts, all kinds of relationships and sisterhoods that built in different ways to provide a meal where they can come together and just be thankful for what they have shared throughout the year. So today seemed like a great day to have a conversation about sisterhood. So today I am so excited because not only do I have two of my beautiful sisters of my pageant organization, I also have an additional sister that I have grown to I know I am going to grow more of in love with as well, but I'm going to let them identify who they are. I'm not going to take the sting away for you can get to know them. I know one thing for certain, one thing for sure. If you decide to open your eyes and open your heart and arms to growth, you be amazed on what will happen in your life, the beauty that it brings to your everyday existence. So now, ready? We're gonna get right into this little situation, because two of my beautiful guests are here. One will be in shortly. Yeah, that's what I did. One will be in shortly, but let's get into it. Bringing in first is my new
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, Director Stephanie. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good morning, beautiful. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. You know what we're doing? We're cooking, right?
Yes,
We're cooking
ma'am.
and doing
Yes,
this
ma'am.
stuff in the oven, right? And doing this.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm gonna bring in my little paint. I'm gonna tell you, she's a powerful punch in the world of all kinds of things. And I love her dearly. And I have a little bit more history with this sister because let me tell y'all a little story before I bring her in. Listen, I competed in this pageant in 2016. This young lady had already competed in this pageant, my sister. She had already became a director, my sister. So we have to do tables, right, in our national pageant. Stephanie, listen to this, sweetheart. We have to do tables at our national pageant, right? And my table had a picture of me, a glam picture of me, right? And I was literally standing right beside her. And she goes, "Oh, that's a beautiful, she's pretty. That's a beautiful picture." And I said, "Thank you." She looked at me and said, "That's you?" I said, "Oh." And then you have to think, well, baby, I love the fact you don't have no censor. I could trust you to tell me the truth. So I knew
Yes.
from that point on that I
Mhm.
was going to love this woman unconditionally. Introducing my sister Tiara. Hello, pretty.
Hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Hey Miss Stephanie, how are you?
Good. Good morning. Good
Good morning.
morning.
You remember that girl?
I remember that I was cracking up laughing just now because I said, now you know Lorene that told these people what I said about that. But it's all love. We still stuck like glue.
We did, and we will. We will continue to be stuck like glue, sweetheart, because I simply adore you. I think what a lot of people don't realize as well, though, out of our organization, you are one of our youngest
Yes.
in this situation, and
Yes.
it says a lot because we also talking about sometimes people equate age to maturity, and baby, that ain't it.
Right. I actually joined the pageant when I was 20 years old. So I was flying back and forth. I live in Louisiana, so I was flying back and forth, back and forth. And so now I am about to be 30 years old.
Come
So
on,
I've been with
sis.
the organization for 9 years now. So Lorena watched me grow up and everything.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I'll tell you this: blossom into the women we are today. It goes back to our experiences through yesterday, right?
Right.
That's like the cream of the crop of the situation. Stephanie, remember when we were 30, baby?
Huh, yeah, sure do. And I couldn't imagine doing what we do now back then. So, girl,
Yes.
Applause, right?
hats off to you, Tierra. Hats
Thank
off,
you.
hats off.
Well, today we really wanted to talk about sisterhood. This morning, I sent a message that I came across to the leadership of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. We have a leadership chat of all of our past queens and ambassadors that that keep us glued together in some type of way, right? Honestly, sometimes the most difficult thing as a leader in anything that you're leading is maintaining the glue to keep things together, to make common denominators for people can still understand that there is something to come back to, right? It is like literally one of the hardest things to do. So I'm going to read this, and I think it has a lot to do with our conversation today with sisterhood. The first is family isn't always about the people in your blood life family isn't always about the people in your life who are blood related. It's about the people in your life who want you to be in theirs. It's about the people in your life who accept you for who you are, support you in the things you choose to do, and no matter what, are there for you. It's the people in your life who loves you, respect you, and who you can depend on. Now that's family. You think about it, right? You think about what sisterhood means in its entirety. We all may not experience sisterhood biologically, right? Everybody don't necessarily have a sister biologically. Excuse me. For me, I have sister biologically. However, tragically, her life was taken away from me. So at that time, I decided the value of sister, the word sister, was amplified for me, right? Because you never know,
Right.
right? Tiara, when you hear that, what I just read, how does that relate to what your definition of sisterhood means to you?
I basically would say that sisterhood, it goes back to what you said. It may not be your birth sister, but if you have a genuine connection with another woman or another lady that you can relate to as your sister, I think that is the most important part, just creating that bind. And so sometimes we say that some people may have a sisterhood, but the question is it a genuine sisterhood? Do you genuinely feel like that's your sister that you can go to and talk to just for anything? That's how I look at sisterhood. It's just building that bond with one another.
Love that. Stephanie, how does that reading goes towards your definition of sisterhood?
Well, for me, I haven't grown up with biological sisters. I have one, she's 12 years older. And with that age difference, my friends became my sisters, sisters by spirit, the one I could tell my secrets to, the ones who had my back, the one who were the shoulder to cry on, or would tell me, hey, wait a minute, slow down, back up. You were wrong in that situation, rethink things. So I really relate to that quote. And I think it's perfect on Thanksgiving. I think it's a perfect quote for Thanksgiving because we need each other as sisters, not just for the bad times, not just for the celebrations, but just to help uplift each other, encourage each other, do things like what we're doing right now.
I love that. And then I love the word you said was accountability.
Mhm.
Accountability is very important. Accountability for self and accountability for the ones around. Now, I know all three of us can say holding people accountable in this pageant world, ooh, baby, they don't like that sometimes.
Mhm.
They can't, they can't, ooh, no, 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 which then put us in a position where, though, sometimes people don't, they feel, let me not say that. I don't think anyone, you seen that TikTok, ain't nobody above the group, ain't no one person above the group, right? And that also to me means us as leaders, right? Sometimes we need to be told, well, that right there did not sit well with me, and be able to have a conversation without being defensive about it as well, as long as that person comes to you with respect in place. Because sometimes people come, they don't know how to use that mouthpiece, right? They don't know how to kind of come to you with some grace, and you still have to be grateful even in the most sensitive situations, right? For me, also, integrity is important. Integrity is very much important. And sometimes people don't have it, so they don't know, they don't necessarily recognize it when it's in place as well. Because they used to a lot of people not having integrity, so therefore they're used to the worst possible scenario output. Did that make any sense at all?
It
Okay.
does.
And the reason why I'm saying that, when I start the process for Miss Full Figure DMV, I start the process with saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. Although we are coming together with the understanding we want to build a sisterhood, right, amongst these women. Everybody ain't going to get along. Everybody not going to clash. I mean, everybody is not going to necessarily mesh together.
Mhm.
It takes work, like any other relationship. It takes work, right? But the one thing that we must agree on is respect.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We want to respect each other. I don't have to like you to respect you, honestly, to be completely honest. I don't have to like you to respect you. That's the key to some things sometimes. But that doesn't mean I become disrespectful. Right? You maintain being cordial to one another, right? And then I also learned over the last, hmm, I've been doing this for 7 years almost now, Tierra. 7 years as the director, baby. I have learned also that sometimes people get upset because they want to be connected to somebody that necessarily don't want to be connected to them. So then they use the word, the sisterhood is nothing. I can't, it ain't nothing. No, no, no. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, baby. The sisterhood is usually also the same place that new best friend that you're calling your best friend. You met at the pageant during that process. That's the sisterhood in action. When you can't get along with someone, or you're not necessarily key into what they got going on, baby, that's the integrity of that person. That's the person. That's not the sisterhood. But we often blame the sisterhood because they're connected to that sisterhood. That's not how that works. And I think people still lose that in translation of a relationship in sisterhood. What do you think, Tiara?
I think everything that you're saying is absolutely correct. I feel as at times, basically going back to the word integrity, you have to have integrity, and it is about that person, because whatever is inside of you, regardless if it's good or it's bad, it's eventually going to come out. Now, how you handle the situation is whenever you want to say, okay, you really put your integrity definition, I would say, to the test. So I think everything you're saying is absolutely correct, especially in the pageantry world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Stephanie, you have a different kind of little situation. You deal with more of the youth part of pageantry, and that's a ooh baby, that's a ooh Jesus.
I do, and it's different because we've got the tweens, we've got the teens, and we've got the babies, and some of them come to us with no pageant experience, and some of them come hesitant because maybe in the past they've had a bad experience, and it's like you said, in life we're going to have bad experiences. It doesn't mean that that whole thing was terrible. You don't throw out the bathwater with the baby, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It could be situational, it could be there was a glitch, but hold that individual accountable. Don't hold the system accountable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a individual thing. And so when our parents come to us, we tell them come with a different mind. We do pageantry differently. This is about the whole person, the whole child, building self-esteem, and that whether you walk away with a physical crown on your head, you came to this with a crown because God made you special. You know, you're individual and you're special and you're created in his image. So hold your head up.
I love that. And T, we definitely understand, and I'm able to go back and forth with you because we're part of the same pageant system. That we learn very early on. Sometimes it's really hard for people to be self-aware, right? It's like you putting a mirror in front of me. Don't be doing that. What do you mean? Don't be doing that. And we put that mirror in front of ourselves, and then we often forget to look in it. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say it again. We often forget to look in that mirror. And I learned through this situation as well. Women are catty. We catty girls. We catty. We catty. We are catty. And it's been as a director, I didn't have conversations with women who currently right now are the best of friends. And at one point they just couldn't understand why this person was a certain type of way. But I took that time to allow them to vent and then encourage them to, you know what? Find a common denominator. And none of them will know I had a conversation with the other, and the other one had a conversation with me because that's not my place, right? As women, we have to have these open conversations and be able to have them without getting to the point you ready to knock somebody out. Well, you can't have a conversation without, it get heated and keeping it respectful, without ready to throw hands. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have been through that, honey. We will not. I have grown.
Mhm.
Okay.
I can second that. I have grown a lot.
I have grown and I have done the work for myself. So when people they get like, oh, well, so and so said this and so said that. I said, baby, I don't do what so and so and they and them. I do what I am me and you. That's who I deal with. They can have all these conversations around you, but until the person have the dignity to come and sit in front of you and have the conversation, it's oblivious to the fact.
And I think that's key too, you know, bringing them together, saying, no, you go to the person you have the issue with. Don't bring it. I mean, as directors, yes, they have to bring things to us, but it's about bringing the individuals together, you know, and that's a maturing process. We see that. It doesn't matter if they're 5 years old or if they're 45, 50 years old. There's situations where, as directors, we've got to bring them together and say, hey, you got to confront this. You can't run from it. You can't spread it, you know.
Yeah.
Deal with the individual you have the issue with, or bring up and deal with the problem you have. Bring it up.
Yeah, because you have to fix it before it gets out of hand because it will spread like wildfire. And that's not what you want to happen, especially within an organization that you say, we're building sisterhoods and building bonds. You should be able to go to your sister and say, hey, this is my issue with you. Because at the end of the day, whenever we leave this process, everybody still has a real life, you
Mhm.
know? So handle that situation. Let's talk about it. And then we just move on and continue to build the bond that we wish to have as sisters.
I agree. I just wanted to make sure, that often in this position, we also get alienated, right? Because it's like you the authority figure. We are the big sister gorgeous ones. Yes, I call us big sister gorgeous ones, right? So we the big sister gorgeous ones. And usually when stuff is going on, they having a good time because we the accountability person, right? We the accountability person. I had to learn this. Because I would see my girls out, they be having a good time. I'm like, why y'all ain't tell me to come? I'm like, girl, nah, they acting up. They ain't messing with you. They ain't messing with you because you didn't put in certain type of, you know, there's certain kind of things that you put in place, and they're like, oh, and you honestly have to be okay, but sometimes they just don't want to feel like they have to be judged on stuff, even though you're not going to judge them, right? But as leadership, they automatically is like, mm-mm. Mm-mm. So I had to also learn that certain spaces won't necessarily be for me. However, that does not say I'm not part of the sisterhood that they built. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing with other women who's a part of that same sisterhood. Because you didn't get an invitation, that doesn't mean you're not part of that sister. It just means that you just didn't cling or click to that particular situation. You know what I mean? Your energy is important too. Ooh, let's talk about energy. How important energy is to you, Stephanie? Energy.
I I'm an energy person. So from the minute I meet you, the minute you walk in the room, whether you said hello or just walked in and sat down, I'm feeling your energy. And you know how people say like babies and puppies will, let you know if somebody's authentic or not. I can tell. So you can tell when they walk in the room. If someone walks in with their head down, um, we kind of get a read on what she's feeling. Maybe she's feeling uncomfortable in the situation. Sometimes there's one that's super loud and look at me, has to be in the forefront of everything. Well, I'm reading the same thing about her. She's a little insecure and feels the need to put the light on herself before someone else can shine the light on herself. And so energy is important from the minute you walk in the room and even on the pageant stage. From the minute they hit that stage, it's the same thing. We see if you're feeling good about yourself. And I think our goal as directors is to kind of be in tune with that energy, see what our girls and our women, our queens are feeling, and help them. It's not always a bad thing to feel a little insecure, but to know who you are and know your worth. Know that you matter, what you have to say matters, and there's a way to say it, and there's a way to present yourself. You know.
I agree. Tiara, what does energy do for you?
Energy is so, I would say, so important. I will go back to what Miss Stephanie said. Basically, when you walk into a room, whomever walks into the room, they can either throw the tone off in the room and you're like, okay, so I don't understand what's going on with this person. And then when someone comes in that's overly confident, sometimes that can be a good or sometimes it can be a bad thing. It just depends on the actual person. So energy is very, I would say, very important. Even going back again to what Miss Stephanie said, when you get on the stage, we always tell our girls, even though when they open up the opening, which is the dance routine, you give it energy, even though that's not something that is that's scored by the judges. You always want to make sure that the energy that you put forth in front of everybody when you first hit the stage, that same energy is going to carry you until the end of the pageant. So it's very, very important.
I am that person though. Tiara, I'm that person. I walk in a room and be like, "Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's a good day. Let's give each other your own hug yourself." Because I believe sometimes people need that. And I need it because I do walk in the room looking for good energy. I don't like being in a space where I'm like, "Oh God, these people are a little," you know, I'm that girl. But what I also pay attention to is what the room look like as a whole. So I am also that person. If I see a young lady, whether she is from my division or not, in any situation, I will go over to her and tap her shoulder and say, "Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Do you need anything? Everything's okay." Because sometimes, in situations just like parents and aunties, where you can't really talk to your mom about it. Maybe they think they couldn't talk to their director about it, right? However, they done found comfort in talking to you about it. Be open for some of those conversations, right? But then I know a lot of women who go through pageants, like you said, confidence, it looks like it's there in its completion sometimes, and it's not. And sometimes they're dealing with mental challenges as well. So they don't have the mental capacity to deal with everybody else's stuff. And sometimes people will be like, "Oh, well, then she just stuck up, or she just, she not able to communicate." That's not usually always the case. It's I'm trying to get through this anxiety attack that I'm about to have because I'm trying to get through this open forum of people around me, and I'm not used to this. I'm not used to being in this space. I'm not used to of making sure that I'm always aware of what's going on with me, to make sure I'm not putting it on somebody else. So grace, let's talk about that. I'm thinking most times we need to be willing to provide grace for people. Now, let's not be Let's not be naive. We know it's what we call the representative that sometimes people bring forth, right? That representative, honey, she looks like everything you want her to be. And then she get comfortable and forget that she put up a representative first, right? You're like, whoa, who is this person? I don't know her, you know? And come to find out, your true identity starts to show. Thinking about the title of your pageant, Stephanie, can you tell everybody the name of your pageant?
So my system is called Authentically Me International. And we came with that because um, my history in the pageant world is I've been a contestant, and then I have two daughters who have competed, and they are 14 years apart. So we've been in there quite a lot of years, and we've seen a lot of things. And we got to the place where we were tired of people telling us, you've got to look like something else, talk like something else, and be something other than who you are. I mean, all three of us experienced that in three different decades.
Mm,
So I'm looking for girls and women to be their authentic selves. Be true to who you are. If you want to wear your natural hair, wear your natural hair. If wigs are your thing, do the wigs. If you like saving animals, then let's talk about a platform of saving animals. Maybe you're really into art and arts education. Well, then let's go with that and talk about that. But I want you to dress like you. I want you to talk like you. I want you to truly represent who you are and be genuine
mm-hmm,
and not straighten your hair because somebody told you you had to straighten your hair,
mm-hmm,
not wear high heels at 6 years old because somebody said you had to. If you're six, I want you to look six. If you're 13, I want you to look 13. Um, we just want a genuine, authentic representative. Um, and if you're genuine to begin with, then we don't have the problem of dealing with when you take that mask off and we're like, whoa, baby, who is this?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We know we do a process of selecting women, and we go through a screening. It's very important to go through a screening because obviously sometimes people don't really understand pageantry based off of what they see in pictures and stuff. Some people think pageantry is just a glam fashion show. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It is way more than a glam fashion show. Glam is part of pageantry, but actually, pageantry is what brings the individual to the forefront. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Because you are an individual brand competing against other individual brands that have came together. That is what that is. In a fashion show, we throw some clothes on you, boo. You can stomp down the runway and give me all the ugg mug face you want to give me, right? But when you're in pageantry, we're looking for grace, poise, elegance. That's what we're looking for. And then another thing is you have to stand for something. You have to stand for something, and you have to know how to speak. Like open your mouth and have something to come out of it that makes sense and is impactful. And that's what we look for in our brand, right? Dear Stephanie, sound like you're pretty much in the same realm of things. And I love the fact that our young women, no matter what they come from, what background, can be authentically who they are in your pageant. Because, you know, I would say, if you're wearing your natural hair, you're gonna say make sure it's neat and pretty. You know what I mean? We're not talking about you have twigs coming out your head and stuff like that. We're talking about being confident in your look, right? Loving who you are, right? And well, if you want to put a twig in there, put some glitter on it, it probably will work out. So it's just making sure that we are really key on saying start off being who you are and allow yourself three things to happen. And I'm going to say these three things and then I'm going to ask y'all if y'all agree. One, you need to be willing to learn, right? Two, you got to be willing to grow from the inside out. Three, you have to be okay with enhancements. And what I mean by enhancements, I'm talking about the refinement of self. refinement of self. You know, people get a little crazy when you talk about certain things. Look, honestly, if you don't want to wear shapewear, you wear smooth and buy clothes your size. Okay. All right. So not trying to fit in things that don't make sense for your body type, right? You know, then you talk about the hair in its entirety. Live it out, honey. Look at this thing right here. It's crazy, right? But it's neat. You know what I mean? And then look at both of you. Stephanie, that's your natural hair, ain't it? When we met, your hair was curly.
It was.
Now I'm like, where that lace front come from? That's her natural hair, girl.
And it
That's
depends on what day you catch me, because it might be like this today and you might catch me tomorrow in a bun or one braid. I mean, it's all in how I feel that day. That's what it's going to look like.
you look beautiful though. And look at my girl, my sister Tiara, honey. She done been short and long, in between, all kinds of stuff. She got all kinds of looks. But what do you think about those three things that I just mentioned, Tiara?
I think that you are absolutely correct with everything that you said. It's just we get women sometimes that we don't know where they're coming from as far as to in their personal lives. So we always have to be sure that let them be themselves, but also open to taking constructive criticism and being open to learn new things, because even though we may have done things as far as directors and we may think that we know everything in life, it's always something new that everyone can learn from. I can learn from you, Laureen. I can learn from Miss Stephanie, or vice versa. We can all learn from one another, and I think that's the importance of everything.
Maybe you didn't wrap that on up and put a little bow on it. Come on, bow. I love the bow that was just tied up on there. Yeah, I am so grateful. And I want to give a big shout out to my big sister Perugia
Yes.
Sharon Jones, who was scheduled to join us. Due to unforeseen circumstances, she was unable to continue. But we want to send love and prayers to her on this Thanksgiving Day. She works extremely hard in everything that she do, and I want to give you your flowers, honey. Let me tell you, on the back end, we scream, holler, shout, fight, pull hair, literally, like, hey. But at the end of the day, that's what real sisterhood is all about. It's being accountable for each other, showing the love that you really have, even in the most difficult times when it doesn't seem like it's the best space for you at that time. And I believe this too. If it's not the best space for you, remove yourself. Remove yourself. If you get to the point where you like, yeah, I can't do this doesn't work for me, or what's going on in my life, then remove yourself. Remove yourself and do it with grace. You don't have to be rude about it. Just because something is not a good fit for you doesn't mean it won't be a good fit for someone else. Bad mouthing somebody or bad mouthing the organization in certain ways is not going to necessarily help. Now, I'm not going to sit up here as if I have never had a moment where I have went off when I am not happy about something that happens within the pageantry world, because I do my best to show my facts and not just from me going off of my own, myself. I'm going through my facts and going, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense to me. We're human.
Mhm.
We're full of emotion. And sometimes we put up a situation where people don't necessarily see that emotion all the time. So when they see it, or let's not say emotion, let's just say certain characteristics of you come out around, you know, yeah. No, certain characteristic of you come out that certain people are not familiar with or used to, so it's automatically looked at as something that's not as what they're used to. That's the best way I can put it. But we're human. Leaders are human. Leadership are human. Directors are human. You know that old saying when they said you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink it. You can lead them over there. So when we build these organizations and we build these sisterhood, we put stuff in place. I
Mhm.
can lead you to the information and provide you a full understanding of what that means. But at the end of the day, it's the individual who's responsible for carrying it through.
Yep.
I'm going to say that again. It's not the sisterhood sisters, it's the individual who has the whole responsibility on their part of being a part of this relationship as a sister. I didn't talk to a lot of women. I don't know if you ever heard this before as well, Tierra and Stephanie, that pageantry is like sorority.
I would
You-
say, I would say it is like a sorority, and I will also say it's kind of sometimes, if you're thinking about the competition side, it's almost like a gamble
Mhm.
because you go into this process, you don't know. You, of course, we all want to win when you go into something when you're competing.
Yeah, team win.
Yes, like you don't know, you just don't know
Right.
if you're going to come out with the winning crown or not. But I would say it is like that and like a gamble.
Yeah. When you think about sorority, women go through a process, right? Our girls go through a process, right?
Right.
They prepare themselves for that main moment. Some of them is preparing for probate, right? Because they want to get through, right? And then they're preparing for the day after. What happens after that? One of the most important things that I implement is understanding that you have to take more than one situation away from this process. If you're in this process just to win a crown, it's only but so many crowns that can be placed physically on someone's head. So, what are you doing to gain those other crowns that are not a physical form to make sure you walk away with something else outside of just the crown itself? What is some of your objectives? What are you looking for? Because I am here to tell you, and I have said this over our national weekend with some young women that we were able to talk to for community service. It was such a beautiful situation. It was so cute. I loved it. But this is the most important thing that I want to make sure we can put a crown on your head, but guess what? The woman makes the crown. The crown does not make the woman.
And I love that you say, I love that you say that, because sometimes we do get women that come through the process, and when they get that crown, baby, let me tell you, they can turn into a monster. Because all they're worried about is, I won the crown, I won the crown. But what are you doing with that crown? Or what are you doing that's making an impact on other women's lives that may want to compete in this system? What can you teach them? So it's more than just about winning the crown and the sashes and the glitz and the glam. It's work. As one of my Texas queens mentioned, they stated, we love glitz and glam, but you may see us in this crown and this sash, but we're gonna put this crown on the shelf, and it's time to work. You know,
It's time to work.
it's time to work.
And
I love.
that's when you really go out. Go ahead, Miss Stephanie.
Oh, I was gonna say I love what Tia just said, because there's a lot that people don't see behind the scenes. Once a title holder is crowned, there's a lot that is not photographed and publicized just because it's not what it's about. It's about the heart of the person. It's about giving back, making a difference in our communities. So, yes, you may see on social media the crowning moment. You may see a photo op, but there are so many hours behind the scenes that you don't see our queens serving in their community, out reading in schools, stocking pantries, filling bags, making deliveries, just checking in on people in need, just giving back to family members, giving someone a ride to a destination. So when you take a look at that queen and you think you want that crown, remember,
Hmm.
it's more than that crowning moment. It's a lot that leads up to it, and it's a lot that goes after.
Tell me about it, honey. And talk about that director crown. It's cute
Mhm.
though. It's cute.
We do
But
so
that
much
work.
work as directors that
Woo.
sometimes it's like you amaze yourself with all of
Yeah.
the work that you do and all of everything that we go through with the process. Because not only are you a director, you also have to be that shoulder to those other women. They may call you when they really need you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you have to be there for them. And it's a lot that we go through as directors, but we love it.
You do,
We
because if
gain,
we wouldn't do it, right? We wouldn't necessarily do it because the
we,
pay ain't that good, y'all. The pay, don't let them tell y'all them lies. It's definitely a inner. And when we first started this, when I first started, let me not talk as a general person. When I first started, I was told you gonna love this an extracurricular activity. She lied. She lied to me. She lied to me and told me it was going to be an extracurricular activity. In the birthing, a lot of things that I found within myself that I really enjoyed doing. It birthed my organization and my LLC, the Lorraine Ross Experience. And I definitely appreciate all that I have gained from this process as a director, as a contestant, and baby, as a queen. And for me, I didn't win the big crown when I competed, baby, but that crown that I did win, you want to act like it was the biggest one of the whole pageant, honey. I am. Yes, I am. What do you need me to do, honey? I was everywhere in the soup kitchen with my sash and my little crown and everything. But to me, it was the world to me because it chopped down on my achievements,
Mhm.
right? And then what God has for you is for you, sweetheart. Because a year later, if you know my story, I was crowned a director. So my crown went from a 3-inch crown to a 7-inch crown, which was bigger than the queen's crown, right? So you know what? Sometimes you gotta be okay with what happens. Okay, you gotta be okay with what happens and allow your journey to do exactly what it needs to do. This has been an amazing conversation, ladies. This has been everything I wanted it to be and envisioned it to be, and much more, and much, much more. Down below, you'll see ticking that says sisterhood is not a destination, but it's a journey. Any words on that quote, ladies, before we end our time together?
I would say, sisterhood, like you say, it's not a destination. It is a journey. It's a process. You also, when you want to say that you're a sisterhood, you have to learn that person. You have to learn how to. I wouldn't say it's like a relationship. Again, with you and I, Ms. Ross, we had to learn one another. So me and Laureen, we really argue like sisters, real sisters. I would say that. We argue and we argue, but at the end of the day, we love each other. If I call her and I need something, if she needs something, I can pick up the phone. Just like yesterday, she called me. What are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Oh, okay. I need you tomorrow. Okay, perfect. What time? What I gotta do? Like, that it's a journey, and it's just more so about learning that person.
I love that.
And I agree with Tierra 100%. It's all about learning our sisters. We come into pageantry a lot of times, we make friends, and then you look back a year later, 2 years later, and you have gone through so much with these individuals. I mean, I have laughed, I have cried. Like you said, we have fought with different ones. And then you have others who come into your life because pageantry brought me my sister, Miss Lorene, and it opens so many doors, and it's not a one-stop shop. It's walking through a door, setting foot on a path. It's not our destination. It's truly a journey.
It's
So I'm
true.
thankful for it. Thankful for you both and for the opportunities that pageantry has provided me with.
I love that, Stephanie. So, Stephanie, can you tell everybody what's coming up next for your organization?
Well, coming up in 2023, Authentically Me International will be holding auditions for our Virginia and DC pageants. So you can check us out on social media on Instagram at authentically_me_INTL for more information. We also have a donation drive going on right now to benefit senior citizens and young girls in need. So if you would like to make a donation, our Amazon wish list link is on our Instagram. So that's authentically_me_INTL.
Love it. Sister,
Yes.
what's coming up for you, girlfriend?
So I am back in action. We have the second annual Miss Full Figure USA Texas pageant auditions in January of 2023, in all areas of Texas. And then we also have auditions for the Miss Full Figure USA Mississippi pageant. There'll be virtual auditions in December. So, ladies, if you are interested in either one of these state pageants, please contact me, or you can contact our ambassador in Mississippi, Miss Alicia Pickens Smith, and we will get you connected and set up. And we also have our pageant October 2023.
Come on now. Now for this one over here. Hey, y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
That's my sister.
We have some beautiful things coming up. I want you to go to our IG page, which is Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. Because first up, we're going to be at the Small Black Business Expo that's going to be happening at the Showplace Arena this Saturday. We're going to be there, being around there, showing people what it looks like to be full figured and beautiful and feeling yourself, girl, feeling yourself. And then after that, this Sunday, we will have our annual Toys and Sock Drive that will be happening as well at the Dorothy Heights Neighborhood Library from 2 to 4. You can drop off your socks and toys as well. That's on Bennett Road in Washington, D.C. And then rounding that whole little situation up, our auditions are open as well for Miss Full Figure DMV 2023 season. Sweetheart, you know what? Try something new. It's all right. And yes, it is really like a sisterhood like no others because we are building legacies here, honey. Legacies. And just know that all in all, remember that you are worthy. You are enough and you are beautiful. I said it a little bit backwards, but it all means the same. Believe in yourself through this process. This process is not easy. And when I'm talking about the process, I'm talking about life. Life in its entirety is not easy. Okay. Why not make sure that you do everything possible to make it fulfill of what all the things that you love and love about yourself. And sometimes it's hard for us to see that love for ourselves, but take the time to sit down and actually look at yourself, look in the mirror and talk to her and tell her that she is worthy for all things that God had planned for her. Because only God knows exactly what's going to be coming next for her. But as long as she open to the journey, baby, it will be an amazing one, an absolute amazing one. Well, happy Thanksgiving again. Happy Thanksgiving again. This was awesome, girls. Y'all enjoy your Thanksgiving. Tia, are you cooking or is mama cooking?
I don't even know why you asked me that. You know I'm not cooking. I am definitely full dressed and ready to head over to Tammy's house. I am not cooking. I might bring her some dinner rolls or something.
Ooh. If she's not the little sister, she's not even a baby, but we're going to not talk about it. We're going to not even talk about it, but I love it. I love it. I love you. I
Love
love
you
you
too.
so much. And I'm
Miss
thankful.
Stephanie, I was so happy to meet you. I'm happy to connect with you through this. Look at us connecting through one
Yes,
another.
ma'am. I
Okay.
know. And look, I can't wait to meet you in person.
Same here. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And Stephanie, you got a big old house going on there. Are you cooking at the house or you
We
sitting there, you
we
eating at the
do.
table?
Oh no, 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 no. I was up cooking last night. I'll be doing some more cooking when we get off. finishing touches. Finishing touches. Yes, ma'am. And we have
Well, Lorraine, what are you
Yes.
cooking though, Miss Ross?
Oh, I'm cooking the stuff that go in the refrigerator. My husband cook all the other stuff. Y'all know that. Don't act like y'all know.
You see how she did me, Miss
How
Stephanie?
long you
You
done know
see?
me? Mr.
You
Ross been up for a minute. I'm just letting y'all know.
Oh, my
Y'all know.
brother.
And it's not that he cook. He just like to do it. Why not let the man do what he
I
like to
know.
do?
Let him go ahead and do it. You're
yep.
right. You're right.
And the food be good, girl. It be so good.
Oh my God.
He knows limits though. He be like, baby, what I put in here? I'll be like, okay, put that there. Yeah. And then we're good. But this year we got the opportunity to do something a little different. Usually we're hosting Thanksgiving, but we get to go to one of our family houses, his mom's house, and be on his side of the family. So it's gonna be absolutely awesome. So I just pray that everybody get the same opportunity this year, that you get to be around those that you love. And it's a difficult season for a lot of people. Let's not forget those who lost loved ones through
Yes.
this time, and including myself. My mother passed away November 11th. So this year is always hard. And some people also know my story. A couple of years in 98, my brother, 4 days after Thanksgiving, was murdered. So this time of the year is hard for so many people. So you have to find those joys and hold on to them. And often you think you know what people are going through, and you really don't understand their true story. So be kind. Be kind. Be kind to one another because you don't know what it took for them to get up and roll over, stand up and walk out the door and be their best selves at that time. So, to those who are dealing with a lot of grief this year as well, take your time. Take your time and fall into those spaces that's needed for you. Allow yourself to have the moments you need to have. It's okay to be in those positions. I'm just going to encourage you to find a light that continues to push you through. because your loved ones that's no longer here with you will want to see you victoriously in your life and being a legacy that they know you can be for them as a family member.
And before we end this, Laureen, I know we got to go get to the turkey and the ham and everything in the dressing. But I just wanted to take this time just to love on you because you've been through a lot. You know, again, we go back to you losing your brother and your sister and your mom. You have been a soldier through it all. You have made it. I love you. They are proud of you. They're looking down on you. And guess what? This journey has been nothing but amazing. Me with you and your own journey. I'm excited for you and I love you.
I love you too. I'm glad I'm wearing glasses, girl, because I'm just being honest. I'm glad I'm wearing glasses. I love you so much, sweetheart. I know that a lot of things keep on transpiring. We can go on and on and on because our love have an end. It will never end, no matter what happens in our near future. I just can't wait to throw flowers at your wedding and give your baby a nice little tap on the button and say, "Auntie said no." I'm waiting for all those days. And even whatever life throws you, baby, you got a big hug from me. And Stephanie, baby, this is the what? What's
Yes.
happening here, girl? What's
I know.
happening?
This is the beginning. And let me just say to you, I didn't know your mom, but I can say I know you made mommy proud because
Mhm.
just the way you give of yourself, no respecter of person, no respecter of title. If you see a need, you are there to support. And just the way you love on your sisters and other women, you pick them up, you give them a hug when you're needing one, you know? And that says a lot about a person. So know that you are loved, you matter, and we thank God for your space and your place here on the earth. May He continue to use you and multiply you.
Thank you, beautiful. I look forward to our relationship. All right, ladies. Mariah Carey is singing on the TV. That means that I'm supposed to go and stir something, right? Okay. Mwah, 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 everybody. Have a great holiday. Take care. Bye now.
Bye, ladies. Have a good one.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
And remember, as I always end this to say, if no one told you today that they love you, know that Lorene does. Why? Because God said so. Mwah! Happy Thanksgiving.